And the other thing that I think is interesting me is that it's not that we're lacking, at least not in our context locally, it's not that we're lacking women in leadership as per se. Like my organization is basically all women, and many other organizations I know are led by women, but it's more about the senior financial roles and technical roles that are difficult to access. Yes, and that's again not because of a lack of capacity. That's what drives me absolutely crazy. It's not we're not capable of. We absolutely are. I think it's a really there's so many bias, as you rightly said. That's so hard sometimes to move on from those, and sometimes it's perceived from a woman perspective as a lack of confidence. But I think it's much more than that. It's not just a lack of confidence. I think mostly as lack of skills and opportunities. That's what it is. So that's why I firmly believe in training, in scaling up, in long life learning, really. That's what I do pursue personally. I just finished actually a leadership, a women course of leadership at Oslo University, which was interesting because you had so many women from it was for women both in STEM and in the arts, and it was quite interesting to see how the difference are quite sharp between the two sectors. You will wonder that is more likely to see the differences, the gender differences into the STEAM sector, but actually fortunately also in ours. So yeah, that was quite interesting, and it just let me go out of that with even more interest in talking about it and trying to inspire younger generation of women. And yeah, and then when this project came up, that was kind of that moment. So I was like, well, this all tied together. Interesting. So I would say that is collaborative. I highly respect my team, and I always trying to shape together the direction, the strategy. Nobody can have all the knowledge in the world, but together we can really make the difference. So I definitely spend a lot of time discussing with the team to get together where we want to get. And I think that is the best way for me to lead. Absolutely. But the way I would have probably call it informed management, which doesn't exist traditionally as a definition. But because I came from a different sector, and I do work obviously in productions twice a year. And those teams are often made of men, especially when it comes to lighting designer, sound designer, production manager, set designer. They are not only men, but primarily. And I made a point for myself, as obviously I'm managing those teams of freelancers as well. For me, I made a point since I started on learning about the roles. So what a lighting designer actually does, how you get a set built, how your get-in runs your tech days. So even if this is not necessarily my work as producer, I do think that it's so important to understand what the other actually do. That way you can really talk to them as peers. You can really understand and make it more effective every type of of connection that you have, and you in a way you get more respected as well, because I discover later, I thought it was part of my job when I started, nobody told me, but for some reason I am that kind of person. I'm very curious by nature, so I always want to understand how things work, so I ask a lot of questions, and I thought it was actually part of my job to learn these things. And then I discover later on that most producers actually don't know all these things about tech. But actually, when you do know them, you really speak their language, you really make things work.